Hello, my dear friends. As the sun rises higher in the Wild West, the day slowly begins to show its true weight. The early cool air fades away, and the heat settles in, heavy and unkind. There is no shade nearby, no easy place to rest. The land is wide and open, and the sun feels like it is watching everything. Imagine standing there feeling the warmth press down on your shoulders, your neck, your back. Sweat forms quickly, but water is limited. You cannot drink freely, because you do not know when you will find more. Every sip must be measured. Every swallow must be earned. Thirst becomes a quiet companion that stays with you all day, never leaving, always reminding you that survival here depends on careful choices. As you move through your work, dust fills the air. It clings to your clothes, your skin, and your mouth. Breathing feels dry and rough. Your eyes sting. The ground beneath your feet is uneven, full of stones and cracks. A simple walk takes effort. Shoes are worn thin, offering little protection. Blisters form, but there is no time to stop. Pain is something you learn to ignore, because stopping means falling behind, and falling behind can be dangerous. In the Wild West, even small injuries can become serious. A cut can turn into an infection. A twisted ankle can leave you stranded. There are no doctors nearby. No clean clinics. Healing depends on luck, rest, and simple remedies that do not always work. Food during the day offers little comfort. Meals are small and plain, often cold, often tasteless. There are no fresh vegetables most days, no sweet fruits, no variety. The body feels tired, but the fuel it receives is weak. Hunger stays in the background, dull but constant. Children feel it too. They work, they walk, they help, even when their bodies are not ready for such a hard life. Childhood in the Wild West is short. Play is rare. Responsibility comes early, quietly, without warning. As afternoon arrives, the heat reaches its peak. The sun feels unforgiving now. Shadows shrink and almost disappear. Animals grow restless. People move slower. Every task takes more effort than it did in the morning. The mind feels foggy. Concentration fades. Mistakes become more likely, and mistakes here can cost dearly. A missed step, a wrong turn, a moment of distraction. Danger does not announce itself loudly. It waits patiently, blending into daily life. And still the day goes on. As the sun finally begins its slow descent, the air cools just a little. The light softens. The land glows with warm colors, almost peaceful. But the body is exhausted. Muscles ache deeply now. Hands feel rough and cracked. The simple act of standing feels heavy. You are still far from safety, far from rest. Night is coming, and night in the Wild West brings its own challenges. As the evening quiet settles in, let us pause here gently and prepare to move deeper into the long night that follows life in the Wild West. As night fully settles over the Wild West, the world changes its mood. The warmth of the day fades quickly, and the air turns sharp and cold. The same land that felt burning hot just hours ago now feels empty and unforgiving. Darkness spreads wide, covering everything. There are no streetlights, no glowing windows, no soft lamps to guide the way. Only the moon if it chooses to show itself, and the distant stars offer any light at all. Sounds feel louder now. Every rustle in the grass, every distant howl, every sudden movement pulls your attention. You cannot tell if it is the wind, an animal, or something worse. Fear becomes quiet but constant, settling deep in your chest. Sleep does not come easily. The ground is hard, uneven, and cold. Blankets are thin, often torn, offering little comfort. You curl your body close, trying to hold on to whatever warmth you can find. Fires help, but they are risky. A fire can keep you warm, but it can also attract unwanted attention. People in the Wild West learn to live between comfort and danger, always choosing carefully, always weighing risk against survival. Even rest feels like work here. You sleep lightly, waking often, your body never fully relaxed. During the night, danger feels closer. Wild animals move freely now. Wolves, coyotes, snakes, and insects all claim the darkness as their time. A single bite or sting can turn deadly. There are no quick cures, no hospitals waiting nearby. Pain must be endured quietly. People learn to stay still, to listen carefully, to move only when necessary. Silence becomes protection. Stillness becomes survival. Loneliness is another heavy weight of the night. The Wild West is wide and open, but it can feel painfully empty. Settlements are far apart. Neighbors may be days away. If something happens, help may never come. People live with this knowledge every day, carrying it silently. Families grow close, not just by love, but by need. Trust is precious. Community is small, fragile, and essential. As the hours pass slowly, time itself feels different. Minutes stretch long. The night seems endless. Your thoughts wander. You think about food, warmth, safety. You think about home, if you have one. Many in the Wild West are far from where they started, chasing hope, land, or survival. Regret often walks beside them, quietly under the stars, and then slowly, very slowly, the darkness begins to soften. The first signs of dawn appear on the horizon. The sky lightens just enough to remind you that you survived another night. Relief comes, but only briefly, because with the sunrise comes another long, demanding day. As the night releases its hold and morning prepares to return, let us gently pause here and prepare to step into the next part of life in the Wild West. As the sun slowly rises over the Wild West, the land wakes up in a quiet and demanding way. Morning here does not feel gentle or peaceful. It feels urgent. The cold of the night still clings to the air, biting at exposed skin, while the promise of heat already waits ahead. People rise early, not because they are rested, but because survival does not allow sleeping in. Every hour of daylight matters. Every moment must be used wisely. Breakfast, if it exists at all, is simple and small. Often it is just dry bread, a bit of salted meat, or thin porridge made from whatever grain is left. There is no variety, no comfort food, no warm kitchen filled with smells. Food is fuel, nothing more. You eat quickly, knowing there may not be much left for later. Hunger is a familiar feeling, one that follows you throughout the day, sitting quietly in your stomach like a reminder of how fragile life is here. Work begins immediately. There is no clear line between home and labor. Everything around you demands effort. Water must be fetched, sometimes from far away. Animals need care. Fires must be rebuilt, tools repaired, land worked. Even children carry responsibilities. Young hands learn quickly how to help, because everyone must contribute. Rest is rare, and when it comes, it is short and light. The environment offers no mercy. Dust rises with every step, settling into clothes, hair, and lungs. The sun climbs higher, turning the land into a wide-open furnace. There is little shade, trees are scarce, skin burns, throats dry out quickly, water is precious and carefully rationed. Every sip is measured. Dehydration is a constant threat, especially for travelers and workers far from any settlement. Danger is never far, even in daylight. Accidents happen easily. A slip, a fall, a wrong step with a tool, and life can change forever. Without doctors nearby, even small injuries can become deadly. Infections spread quietly. Pain is endured in silence. People learn to live with aches, wounds, and exhaustion as part of daily existence. Despite all of this, people keep moving. Hope, stubborn and quiet, pushes them forward. Some dream of land, some of money, some simply of surviving one more day. Conversations are short, practical, often focused on work. Laughter exists, but it is rare and brief like a passing breeze. Trust is built slowly, and once earned, it is deeply valued. As the sun reaches higher in the sky, the weight of the day grows heavier. Muscles ache. Sweat soaks through clothing. Fatigue settles in, but stopping is not an option. The Wild West does not wait. It demands constant effort, constant attention, constant strength. And as the long morning stretches toward midday, it becomes clear once again why surviving even a single day here is never guaranteed. The heat of the Wild West afternoon settles in like a heavy blanket, pressing down on everything that moves. By midday, the sun is no longer just warm. It is fierce and unforgiving. Shadows shrink and almost disappear, offering little relief. The land seems to hold its breath, and even the wind feels tired, carrying only dust and dry air. This is the time of day when survival becomes truly difficult, when the body begins to struggle against exhaustion and thirst. Work does not stop, but it slows. Movements become careful and measured. Every step takes effort. Sweat runs freely, but it does not cool the body for long. Clothes stick to the skin, eyes squint against the bright, endless sky. People learn to conserve energy, to move only when necessary because wasting strength can be dangerous. A moment of dizziness, a stumble in the heat, can mean serious trouble. Water becomes the most valuable thing you own. Canteens are checked again and again. Each swallow is small, controlled, almost ceremonial. No one drinks freely. You learn to ignore thirst, to push it aside, knowing that relief may still be hours away. Wells and rivers are not always close, and some dry up without warning. The fear of running out of water stays quietly in the back of your mind, like a shadow that never leaves. Illness spreads easily in these conditions. Heat exhaustion, sunstroke, and dehydration are common but rarely spoken about. There is no time to complain. There are no proper medicines, no cool rooms to recover in. People lie down in whatever shade they can find, hoping their bodies will recover on their own. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do not. The Wild West offers no guarantees. Animals suffer too. Horses breathe heavily, their sides rising and falling fast. Cattle move slowly, searching for grass that has not yet turned brown. Caring for animals is just as important as caring for yourself. A lost or sick animal can mean the loss of transport, food, or income. So even when tired, people push on, guiding, feeding, protecting their livestock from both the heat and hidden dangers. Danger comes not only from the environment but from people as well. In this harsh world, tempers can flare quickly. Disputes over land, water, or money are common. Words can turn sharp. Silence can become tense. Many carry weapons, not always with the intention to use them, but because danger feels close enough to touch. Trust is fragile. A wrong look, a misunderstanding, can change everything. As the afternoon stretches on, time feels slow and heavy. The hours drag, each one blending into the next. The sun seems unwilling to move. Bodies ache. Minds wander. Survival becomes a simple focus. Get through this heat. Make it to evening. Stay alive. And as the sun finally begins its slow descent, painting the sky with softer colors, there is a quiet sense of relief. The worst of the heat is passing, but the day is far from over. Let us gently move forward as the light begins to fade into the long and uncertain hours of the Wild West evening. As evening settles over the Wild West, the heat slowly loosens its grip, but new challenges quietly take its place. The air cools just enough to let tired bodies breathe again. Muscles relax a little. Faces lift toward the sky as colors shift from harsh white to soft gold and deep orange. This is a fragile moment of peace, short and easily broken. People use this time wisely. Camps are checked, fires are prepared with care. Wood is precious, so nothing is wasted. A small flame is enough for warmth, light, and simple cooking. Meals are plain and repetitive. Beans, hard bread, maybe dried meat if you are lucky. Food is eaten slowly, not for pleasure but for strength. Each bite matters. There is no abundance here, only survival. As darkness approaches, sounds change. The land grows quieter, yet somehow more alive. Insects hum softly. Distant animal calls drift through the air. Every noise feels closer at night, sharper, more important. People listen carefully, always alert. The Wild West does not sleep easily. Danger can arrive silently without warning. Night brings cold, often sudden and biting. The same land that burned under the sun now steals warmth from the body. Thin blankets are pulled close. Coats are wrapped tight. Fires become lifelines. Without proper shelter, the cold creeps in slowly, settling into bones and joints. Sleep comes lightly, if at all. Every rustle, every crack of a branch can pull someone awake. Fear is a quiet companion in the dark. It is not always about bandits or wild animals, though those threats are real. Sometimes it is the fear of the unknown, the fear of illness, the fear of tomorrow bringing more hardship than today. In the Wild West, the future is uncertain, and nights give the mind too much time to wander. People sleep in short stretches, often sitting or lying close together for warmth and safety. Dreams are shallow. Rest is never complete. The body recovers just enough to face another day, and no more. This constant exhaustion wears people down over time, making even simple tasks feel heavy. As the fire dies low and embers glow softly, the stars above shine bright and endless. They offer a strange comfort, a reminder that the world is bigger than hardship, bigger than fear. For a moment, there is calm, just breathing, just being alive. And here, in this fragile stillness of the Wild West night, this part of the journey comes to rest. Morning in the Wild West does not arrive gently. There is no slow easing into the day. no soft comfort of a warm bed. Dawn comes sharp and cold, or sometimes harsh and dusty, depending on the land and the season. The first light spills over the horizon and wakes people not with beauty, but with duty. Eyes open heavy and sore. Bodies feel stiff from sleeping on hard ground. Every joint complains quietly as people rise, knowing the day will demand everything they have left. The fire from the night before is nearly gone, only pale ash and a faint warmth remaining. Someone kneels to coax it back to life, blowing softly, feeding it small pieces of wood saved for this moment. Breakfast is simple, often the same as yesterday and the day before that. Hard bread soaked in water or coffee. Beans reheated if there are any left. There is no choice, no variety. Food is fuel, nothing more. It fills the stomach just enough to keep the body moving. As the sun climbs higher, plans are made quickly. There is little time for talking. Everyone knows their role. Water must be found. Animals must be checked. Tools are gathered, sometimes repaired with rough hands and tired eyes. Illness is ignored unless it is deadly. Pain is accepted as normal. In the Wild West, stopping is dangerous. Rest can mean falling behind, and falling behind can mean not surviving. The land looks calm in the morning light, but it is deceptive. The same ground that seems peaceful can turn hostile within hours. Heat builds fast. Wind can rise suddenly. Dust fills the air and settles in the throat and eyes. The body begins to sweat early, losing precious water with every step. Dehydration is a quiet enemy, one that works slowly but relentlessly. By mid-morning, exhaustion already lingers from the night before. There has been no true rest, just survival. Muscles ache as work begins again. Walking long distances, lifting heavy loads, riding for hours under an open sky. There is no shelter from the sun, no escape from the land. The Wild West demands endurance, not comfort. As the day fully begins, it becomes clear once more why surviving even a single day here is so hard. Each morning resets the struggle. No matter what was endured yesterday, today asks the same questions again. Can you walk farther? Can you work longer? Can you endure just a little more? And with the sun now fully awake, this new chapter of the day takes hold. As the morning stretches into midday, the Wild West reveals one of its hardest truths. Work does not slow down when the sun rises higher. It becomes heavier. The heat presses down like a weight on the shoulders, making every movement feel slower, every breath feel thicker. The sky is wide and empty, offering no shade, no comfort. The sun beats down without mercy, and there is nowhere to hide from it. People keep moving because stopping feels dangerous. Sweat runs into eyes, blurring vision. Lips crack and sting from dryness. Throats burn for water that must be rationed carefully. Every swallow is measured. Water is not something to enjoy here. It is something to survive on. Some days it is warm and tastes of metal or dirt, but it is still precious. Without it, the body weakens quickly, and weakness in this land can be fatal. Work varies, but it is always exhausting. Some repair fences under the open sky, hands rough from splintered wood and rusted wire. Others guide animals across dry land, watching closely for signs of panic or illness. A single mistake can lead to injury, loss, or worse. For those traveling, hours are spent walking or riding, scanning the horizon constantly. Danger can come quietly. A rattlesnake hidden in the dust, a sudden storm, a stranger whose intentions are unknown. The body feels every hour pass. Muscles tremble with strain. Backs ache from carrying loads too heavy for too long. There is no relief waiting at the end of the task. Just more work, more distance, more heat. Hunger grows slowly but steadily. The stomach tightens, reminding the mind that food is limited. Lunch, if it exists at all, is brief and plain. A few bites eaten quickly, never enough to feel full. The sun reaches its highest point and the land seems to hold its breath. Even the wind disappears. The air becomes still, thick and unforgiving. In this silence, exhaustion becomes dangerous. Minds wander. Focus slips. This is when accidents happen. A missed step, a dropped tool, a moment too slow to react. The Wild West punishes these small lapses without warning. As the afternoon begins, bodies are already worn down, yet the day is far from over. Survival here is not about strength alone. It is about enduring discomfort, ignoring pain, and pushing forward even when everything inside begs to stop. The sun continues its slow journey across the sky, and the long, punishing work of the day carries on. As the long day moves forward, another quiet danger of the Wild West becomes clear. When the body fails, there is very little help waiting. Illness and injury are not sudden events here. They creep in slowly, often ignored until they can no longer be hidden. A small cut becomes infected. A fever grows during the night. A twisted ankle never truly heals. In this land, the body must keep going, even when it should rest. There are no hospitals nearby, no clean rooms filled with trained doctors. Medical care, if it exists at all, is rough and uncertain. Treatments are based on guesswork, old advice, and hope. A bottle of bitter liquid, a cloth wrapped tightly around a wound, sometimes a shot of alcohol to dull the pain. These are not cures. They are desperate attempts to keep someone alive long enough for the body to heal itself. Pain is a constant companion. Teeth ache without relief. Infections spread quietly beneath the skin. Fevers cause shaking chills even under the hot sun. At night, pain feels louder in the silence. Sleep becomes shallow and broken. Every movement reminds the body of what is wrong, yet there is no choice but to rise again with the next sunrise. Injuries from daily work are common. A fall from a horse, a heavy object dropped on a foot, a hand caught the wrong way. Without proper care, these injuries can change a life forever. A limp becomes permanent. A damaged hand loses strength. Some people can no longer work as they once did, and that loss can be deadly in a place where survival depends on labor. Illness spreads easily in close living spaces. Coughs echo through small rooms. Shared water and tools pass sickness from one person to another. There is little understanding of germs or prevention. People rely on luck and strong bodies. When someone grows too weak, they are often isolated, not out of cruelty, but fear. Fear of catching the same sickness. Fear of losing another worker. Death is familiar here. It is not dramatic. It arrives quietly, often in the night. A fever that does not break. A wound that will not close. By morning, someone is gone, and life continues because it must. There is little time to grieve. Survival demands attention. As the sun begins to lower in the sky, bodies carry not only exhaustion but pain and sickness as well. In the Wild West, staying alive is not just about avoiding danger. It is about enduring a body that is slowly breaking down, with no real help to turn to. As evening settles across the land, another struggle becomes clear, one that cannot be seen with the eyes. Loneliness in the Wild West is heavy and constant. Towns are small and far apart. Cabins sit alone under wide skies. Long stretches of land pass without another human voice. Even when people live near one another, real connection is rare. Everyone is tired. Everyone is focused on surviving. There is little space left for comfort or deep conversation. Days can pass with only a few words spoken, a short greeting, a quick exchange of supplies. Then silence returns. At night, that silence grows louder. The wind moves outside. Wood creaks in the walls. The mind begins to wander. Thoughts grow slow and heavy. Worries repeat themselves again and again. There is no distraction, no soft glow of light, no gentle noise to ease the mind. Homesickness is common, even among those who chose this life willingly. People remember places left behind. Softer beds, warmer rooms, familiar faces. In the quiet hours, memories feel sharper. Regret drifts in like cold air through cracks in the walls. Many wonder if they made the wrong choice, but turning back is no longer possible. Mental exhaustion builds quietly. Fear lives beneath the surface. Fear of illness. Fear of failure. Fear of waking up alone tomorrow. There is no language for these feelings here. No one talks about sadness or worry. Strength is expected. Weakness is hidden. People carry their pain silently, letting it settle deep inside. Sleep does not always bring rest. Dreams are broken. Some nights bring no sleep at all. The body lies still, but the mind remains awake, replaying the day, worrying about tomorrow. Over time, this lack of rest changes a person. Tempers grow short. Hope feels distant. Joy becomes rare and unfamiliar. For many, companionship is limited to animals, a horse, a dog. These creatures offer quiet presence without questions or judgment. Their warmth is simple and steady. In a world so harsh, even this small comfort matters deeply. As darkness fully settles, loneliness wraps itself around the land. It is not loud or dramatic. It is slow and steady, like a shadow that never leaves. In the Wild West, surviving the day is one challenge. Surviving the long, quiet nights is another. As night deepens in the Wild West, another quiet truth becomes impossible to ignore. Safety is never guaranteed. Violence does not always arrive loudly or suddenly. Often, it waits in the background, unspoken but understood. People live with a constant sense of alertness, always watching, always listening. Trust is rare because trusting the wrong person can cost everything. Weapons are common, not for excitement but for survival. A rifle by the door, a knife within reach. These are not symbols of power. They are reminders of how fragile life is here. Disagreements over land, water, animals, or money can turn serious quickly. There are few laws and even fewer people to enforce them. Justice, when it exists, is slow and uncertain. Many matters are settled face to face, and those encounters can end badly. Traveling is especially dangerous. Long distances must be crossed alone or in small groups. Roads are rough, often nothing more than paths through open land. Help is far away. A broken wheel, a sick horse, or an unexpected meeting can leave someone vulnerable. Stories of robbery and violence spread quietly, passed from person to person as warnings. People listen carefully, changing routes, avoiding strangers, always cautious. At night, fear feels closer. Darkness hides intentions. Shapes move in the distance and the mind fills in the gaps. Every sound matters. A footstep, a cough, the snap of a branch. Sleep comes lightly, one ear always open. Many rest with a weapon nearby, ready to react even while half asleep. This constant tension wears the body and mind down over time. Families worry for one another constantly. Parents watch children closely. Partners listen for each other's footsteps in the dark. Goodbyes are never casual, because there is always a chance they may be final. Love exists here, deeply and fiercely, but it is shaped by fear and uncertainty. Despite all of this, people continue. They wake up each morning, they work, they care for one another when they can. Courage in the Wild West is not loud or heroic. It is quiet and steady. It is the decision to face another day, knowing the risks, and moving forward anyway. As the night slowly passes and the land holds its breath once more, this part of the story comes to rest. As the days pass in the Wild West, people learn that the land itself can change its mood in an instant. Weather here is not gentle or predictable. It does not give warnings. One moment the sky is clear and open, and the next it darkens with fast-moving clouds. Wind rises suddenly, sharp and strong, carrying dust that stings the eyes and fills the mouth. The temperature can drop without kindness, catching tired bodies unprepared. Storms arrive quickly and with force. Rain falls hard on dry ground, turning dust into thick mud that traps feet and wheels. Thunder rolls loudly across the open land, echoing without walls to soften it. Lightning flashes bright and close, striking the ground with terrifying power. There is little shelter. Many homes are small and weak, built from wood or earth. Roofs leak, walls shake. People sit still, listening, hoping the storm passes without destroying what little they have. Cold weather is especially dangerous. Nights grow bitter and sudden cold snaps steal warmth from the body faster than expected. Without proper clothing or insulation, people shiver through the dark hours. Fingers go numb, breathing feels sharp. Fires must be kept alive, but fuel is limited. Choosing between warmth now or warmth later becomes another difficult decision. Frostbite and sickness follow the cold closely, especially for children and the elderly. Heat can be just as deadly. Sudden heat waves drain strength quickly. Crops fail. Water sources dry up. Animals suffer. People push on despite dizziness and exhaustion, because stopping feels impossible. The land offers no mercy, only lessons learned the hard way. Travel becomes risky when weather shifts. A clear path can turn dangerous within minutes. Rivers swell without warning. Trails disappear under mud or sand. Those caught far from shelter must endure whatever comes, using skill, luck, and patience to survive. Over time, people learn to read the sky, the wind, the smell of the air. Small signs become important. Dark clouds on the horizon. A sudden silence. A change in temperature. Even then, nature often wins. As the weather calms again, leaving behind damage and exhaustion, life slowly resumes. Repairs are made, losses are counted, strength is gathered once more. In the Wild West, surviving the weather is just another daily battle, one fought quietly under an ever-changing sky. As time passes in the Wild West, hunger becomes one of the most constant companions of daily life. It is not the sharp hunger of missing a single meal, but a slow, steady emptiness that never fully goes away. Food is always limited. Supplies depend on weather, luck, and long journeys that may or may not return safely. When stores run low, there is no quick solution. No nearby markets filled with choice. No easy replacements. Meals are simple and repetitive. Beans cooked the same way day after day. Hard bread that must be soaked just to be chewed. Salted meat that lasts long but offers little comfort. Fresh food is rare and precious. Fruits and vegetables appear only when seasons allow, and even then in small amounts. The body craves variety, but learns to accept what it is given. Taste becomes less important than survival. Cooking itself is work. Fires must be built carefully. Fuel must be saved. Pots are few. Everything is shared. Portions are small, especially when supplies are uncertain. People learn to eat slowly, stretching each bite, hoping it will be enough. Children grow up knowing hunger as a normal feeling, not something unusual or alarming. When food runs dangerously low, difficult choices are made. Rations are cut. Meals are skipped. Strength fades quietly. Work becomes harder. Tempers grow shorter. Hunger changes the way people think, the way they speak, the way they see one another. Even kindness feels harder to offer when the stomach is empty. Hunting and gathering help sometimes, but they come with risk. Animals are not always easy to find. A missed shot means wasted effort and energy. Foraging requires knowledge, because the wrong plant can make someone sick or worse. Every attempt costs strength, and strength is already limited. Illness spreads faster when bodies are weak from lack of food. Wounds heal slowly. Fatigue deepens. Yet life does not pause. Work continues. Days move forward whether the body is ready or not. As evening approaches once again, hunger lingers, dull and familiar. It settles in quietly like the setting sun, reminding everyone that in the Wild West, being full is a rare luxury. Survival is built not on comfort, but on endurance. And here, as the light fades and another long night prepares to begin, this part of the story comes to rest. As darkness returns to the Wild West, the land cools faster than the body expects. The heat of the day disappears quickly, replaced by a cold that seeps in from the ground, the air, and the wind. Shelters are simple and fragile. Many homes are small wooden cabins, tents, or rough structures made from earth and scraps of material. They are built to exist, not to comfort. Cracks in the walls let air pass through freely. Roofs offer only basic protection. Rain, wind, and cold always find a way inside. Inside these shelters, space is limited. Families sleep close together, not only for warmth, but for safety and reassurance. Blankets are thin and worn. Clothing meant for work becomes clothing for sleep. Fires are kept small to save fuel and reduce risk, but small fires give little warmth. People sit near the embers, stretching their hands toward the heat, waiting their turn, knowing the warmth will fade soon. The cold settles into bones and joints, especially for those who have worked all day. Fingers stiffen, knees ache. Breathing feels sharper with each breath. Sleep comes slowly and lightly. The body never fully relaxes. Any sudden sound, any shift in the wind, can pull someone awake. Night after night, this lack of deep rest wears people down. During winter, the cold becomes even more dangerous. Snow blocks paths. Ice covers the ground. Firewood runs low. Travel becomes risky, sometimes impossible. Those who fall ill during winter face even greater danger, as the cold weakens the body further. Children and the elderly suffer the most. Warmth is shared carefully and sometimes unevenly, simply because there is not enough to go around. Despite all this, people adapt. They patch walls with cloth or mud. They block cracks with whatever they can find. They learn how to position their shelters against the wind. These small acts of preparation make the difference between surviving the night and not. As the fire dies down and the shelter grows quiet, the cold remains, patient and persistent. In the Wild West, surviving the night is not about comfort. It is about endurance. And as the stars shine cold and bright above, this chapter of the story slowly comes to rest. In the Wild West, childhood is brief and fragile. There is little space for innocence and even less time for play. From a very young age, children learn that life here demands effort from everyone. Small hands carry water. Young backs gather firewood. Bare feet walk long distances over rough ground. These tasks are not seen as punishment. They are simply part of daily life. Survival depends on contribution, and every member of the family must help. Days for children begin early, just like for adults. There is no sleeping in, no quiet mornings filled with comfort. They wake to chores, not lessons or games. Education, when it exists, is irregular and limited. A few books might be shared among many. Some children never learn to read at all. Knowledge is passed through observation and experience instead. How to work the land, how to care for animals, how to stay quiet when danger is near. Play exists, but it is rare and simple. A carved wooden toy, a stone tossed across dirt. Laughter comes in short bursts, often while working. Childhood joy is brief and quickly replaced by responsibility. Many children witness illness, injury, and death early in life. These experiences harden them quietly. Fear and understanding arrive too soon. Illness among children is especially dangerous. Small bodies are weaker against hunger, cold, and sickness. Without proper medical care, simple fevers can become deadly. Parents worry constantly, watching closely for signs of weakness. When a child survives, it feels like a small victory. When one does not, grief is deep but often silent. Life does not slow down, even in loss. As children grow older, they step fully into adult roles. Teenage years are short. Young people work alongside adults, carrying the same burdens, facing the same risks. There is little difference between youth and adulthood here. Strength, endurance, and obedience matter more than age. Despite the hardship, families try to protect what little childhood remains. Stories are told at night. Songs are sung softly by firelight. These moments are small but meaningful. They remind children and adults too that life is more than survival alone. As the night deepens and young eyes finally close, tired from a day too heavy for their years, this part of the Wild West story gently comes to rest. As days turn into weeks in the Wild West, Something quieter but powerful begins to appear beneath the hardship. It is not comfort, and it is not ease. It is endurance shaped by hope. People here learn to carry belief the way they carry tools, simply, carefully, and without ceremony. Faith in many forms becomes a quiet anchor. For some, it is prayer whispered before sleep. For others, it is trust in routine, in work, in the idea that tomorrow must bring something better, even if today did not. Evenings often bring moments of stillness that feel almost sacred. After long hours of labor, people sit together near a fading fire. Words are few. Silence is shared. Someone might tell a short story from memory or speak of a place far away remembered softly. These stories are not grand. They are small reminders that life once held comfort and perhaps could again. In this way, memory itself becomes a kind of shelter. Community, though small and fragile, offers strength. Neighbors help one another when they can. A shared meal, even a simple one, becomes meaningful. Lending tools, watching children, sitting beside someone who is ill. These acts are quiet, but they matter deeply. In a land that takes so much, giving even a little feels powerful. People learn to measure success differently here. Survival itself becomes an achievement. Waking up, finishing the day's work, making it through another night. Joy does not come from abundance, but from small victories. A repaired roof, a healthy animal, a storm that passes without damage. These moments build resilience slowly, layer by layer. The Wild West does not reward weakness, but it does shape strength in unexpected ways. Strength of patience. Strength of silence. Strength of continuing forward without certainty. Many who survive here do so not because they are fearless, but because they learn to live with fear and keep going anyway. As night settles once more and the fire burns low, people lie down tired but steady. Breathing slows. The land grows quiet again. And in that quiet, hope rests gently, waiting for another dawn. In the Wild West, travel itself is one of the quietest dangers. Moving from one place to another is never simple or safe. Roads are not proper roads at all. They are rough paths carved slowly by wagons, horses, and tired feet. Many lead nowhere. Others disappear suddenly into open land. Signs are rare. Maps are unreliable. Getting lost is easy, and once lost, survival becomes uncertain very quickly. Travelers wake early, hoping to move before the heat becomes unbearable. Supplies are checked again and again. Water is counted carefully. Food is rationed tightly. Every item carried has a purpose because carrying too much slows you down, and carrying too little can kill you. Wagons creak under their loads. Horses and oxen grow tired quickly, especially in harsh weather. If an animal becomes injured or sick, the journey may end right there. The land offers no shelter. Wide plains stretch endlessly. Hills and valleys hide what lies ahead. A storm can rise without warning, turning dry ground into mud or washing away tracks. Rivers may look calm, but hide strong currents. Crossing them is a gamble. People must choose between waiting and risking hunger or moving forward and risking drowning. Isolation makes everything harder. Help is far away, sometimes days or weeks away. If a wheel breaks, if someone falls ill, if supplies run out, there may be no one to turn to. Travelers learn to be self-reliant, but even the strongest cannot prepare for everything. Fear follows quietly, never loud, always present. At night, camps are made carefully. Fires are small. Sounds travel far in the open land. People listen closely to the dark, alert even while resting. Sleep comes lightly. The journey continues at first light. Bodies already tired, minds already strained. In the Wild West, traveling is not about adventure. It is about endurance. Each mile survived feels like a small victory. Each day completed feels earned. In the Wild West, law exists more as an idea than a guarantee. Towns are small and scattered, and many places have no sheriff at all. Even when there is someone meant to keep order, they are often outnumbered, underpaid, and overwhelmed. Help does not arrive quickly here. Sometimes it does not arrive at all. People learn early that they cannot depend on rules to protect them. Disagreements are common. Arguments over land boundaries, animals, supplies, or money can turn serious without warning. There are few courts nearby, and traveling to one takes time, money, and safety that many cannot afford. Because of this, problems are often settled face to face. Words become sharp. Tempers flare. And when weapons are present, as they often are, situations can change quickly and permanently. Justice is uneven. Powerful individuals sometimes avoid consequences while weaker ones suffer more than they should. Reputation matters greatly. A single accusation can ruin someone, even if it is untrue. Fear of being misunderstood or falsely blamed keeps many people quiet. Silence becomes protection. Communities try to create their own rules. Neighbors watch one another closely. Trust is built slowly and broken easily. Once lost, it is hard to regain. People rely on personal honor more than written law. Promises carry weight, but they are fragile. A broken promise can lead to conflict, isolation, or worse. Vigilante justice exists in the shadows. When people believe no help is coming, they take matters into their own hands. These moments are rarely fair and often tragic. The line between right and wrong becomes blurred, shaped by fear and desperation rather than reason. Living in such an environment requires constant awareness. People choose their words carefully. They watch who they trust. They stay alert even in moments of calm. This constant tension weighs heavily on the mind, adding to the exhaustion already built by hard labor and harsh conditions. As the day fades and the land grows quiet once more, the absence of true safety becomes clear. In the Wild West, surviving is not just about strength or skill. It is about navigating a world where justice is uncertain and protection is never guaranteed. When night fully arrives in the Wild West, rest is something few people truly find. Darkness here feels deeper than in modern times. There are no city lights, no glowing windows stretching into the distance. The land disappears into blackness, and the sky feels endless above you. Stars shine brightly, but they offer no comfort. Instead, they remind you how small and exposed you are. People settle down for the night carefully. Doors are checked. Animals are tied close. Fires are kept low, just enough to give warmth without drawing attention. Every sound feels closer in the dark. A distant howl carries far across the open land. The wind moves through dry grass and makes it whisper. A branch snaps somewhere nearby, and the body tenses without thinking. Fear is not loud. It is quiet and constant, sitting just beneath the surface. Sleep comes in short pieces. People wake often listening, checking the shadows. Some sleep sitting up. Others keep a hand near a weapon even while resting. Dreams are shallow and easily broken. The mind never fully relaxes because danger can arrive without warning. Wild animals roam freely at night. So do desperate people. Both are unpredictable. Cold settles in deeply after sunset. Even in warmer seasons, temperatures drop quickly. Thin blankets do little to protect against the chill that rises from the ground. Bodies curl inward, trying to hold on to warmth. Children shiver quietly. Adults stay awake longer than they should, watching the darkness, protecting what little they have. The loneliness of night feels heavier than during the day. With nothing to distract the mind, thoughts grow louder. Worries repeat themselves. What if the food runs out? What if someone gets sick? What if tomorrow brings worse than today? These questions circle slowly, making true rest almost impossible. Yet despite the fear and discomfort people endure, they breathe slowly, they wait for morning. They survive the night the same way they survive everything else in the Wild West, patiently, quietly, one long hour at a time. As the stars slowly move across the sky and the night stretches on, this part of the journey gently comes to rest. As days and nights blend together in the Wild West, exhaustion becomes deeper than simple tiredness. It settles into the body and stays there. This is not the kind of fatigue that disappears after one good night of sleep. It is a constant heaviness, carried in the muscles, the bones, and even the thoughts. Every morning begins before the body is ready. Every night ends before real rest can arrive. Over time, people forget what it feels like to feel fully awake. Work never truly stops. Even on quieter days, there is always something that must be done. Fires need tending. Water must be carried. Animals must be watched. Repairs cannot wait. The body keeps moving because it must, not because it wants to. Pain becomes normal. Aching backs, stiff joints, sore hands. These are accepted as part of life. Complaining changes nothing, so most people stay silent. This constant exhaustion affects the mind as well. Focus fades easily. Memory slips. Small mistakes happen more often. People grow slower, not from laziness, but from wear. Conversations shorten. Emotions dull. Joy becomes harder to feel. Even fear feels quieter, replaced by a deep sense of tired acceptance. For some, exhaustion becomes dangerous. A tired rider misjudges a path. A weary worker drops a tool. A distracted guard misses a sound in the night. In the Wild West, these small moments can have serious consequences. There is no margin for error when the body and mind are already stretched thin. Yet people continue, not because they are strong in the heroic sense, but because stopping feels impossible. Survival demands movement. The land does not allow pause. Rest, when it comes, is shallow and brief. It restores just enough strength to face the next demand, and no more. As the day slowly fades once again and tired bodies prepare for another restless night, exhaustion remains, quiet, heavy, and unending. In the Wild West, surviving even one day means carrying this weight without complaint. And here, as the cycle of work and wear continues, this part of the story gently comes to rest. As we slowly step back and look at the Wild West as a whole, the truth becomes clear without needing drama or exaggeration. Life here is not built for comfort, safety, or rest. It is built only for endurance. Every hour demands effort. Every choice carries risk. Hunger, heat, cold, fear, illness, loneliness, and exhaustion do not arrive one at a time. They arrive together, quietly stacking on top of one another, until the weight becomes almost unbearable. This is why most people today would not survive even a single full day here. Modern life has softened us not because we are weak, but because we are protected. We are used to clean water, reliable food, shelter that holds warmth, and help that arrives quickly when something goes wrong. In the Wild West, none of these things can be trusted. Survival depends on constant awareness, physical labor, and emotional strength. There is no pause button, no safety net waiting beneath you. People who lived here were not superhuman. They felt pain the same way. They felt fear the same way. They grew tired the same way. What separated them was not strength alone, but necessity. They endured because there was no other option. The land demanded everything, and they gave what they could day after day, night after night. As the final night settles gently over this wide and unforgiving land, you can imagine the quiet breathing of those who survived another day. Fires glow softly. Stars move slowly across the sky. Bodies rest as best they can. Tomorrow will bring the same struggle again, but for now there is stillness. Oh, there is. And here, as our journey through the Wild West comes to a close, you can let the weight of this hard world fade away. You are safe. You are warm. You are resting. Let your breathing slow. Let your thoughts drift. Let the silence become calm rather than heavy. Good night. Sleep peacefully, and let history rest with you.